put in all this work to come up with a product or a service, or even have a desire that you want to share with the world, you want to share with your employer, share with your loved ones, or share with a potential prospect that you know you can help or know that can help create change in your life. However, you're frozen, you're scared when you're looking at that number to dial. You're afraid of what that other person is going to say on the other side of the phone, or what that person is going to say when you knock on that door, or when you go and actually have a face-to-face or a conversation, a real conversation with someone. That is the topic of today's show, Life in Transitions Experts. This is what we're talking about today. Call reluctance. Can you call too much? You may have heard the old saying, closed mouths don't get fed, and that's an old, worn out saying. However, it is so true. Remember, you have something of value to bring to someone, and if you're spending all your time and your energy generating leads, doesn't matter how great the website that you have, doesn't matter how awesome that text message, that script that you have, doesn't matter how great your direct mail piece or the brochures, how pretty, all that, none of that matters if you're not having quality conversations with folks. I would say if you're on this channel, you're probably a real estate professional, or perhaps you're some type of entrepreneur, or you have something of value to bring, or some reason you're attracted to this channel because you are out there trying to go get it. You must be able to speak up and share what you have and what you provide to the world. Now, that doesn't mean that you're up there just blasting away, talking to prospects or people all about yourself and what you provide. That's a whole other show of how you can actually give by listening, give by learning what that person needs, and then tailoring it to your services. But again, that's another show. But I'm here to tell you, you cannot contact your prospects, or those folks you're there to serve, too much. Remember, particularly with real estate professionals, if you are contacting, maybe you're a listing agent, it usually takes about 2 years from that person's first time thinking, okay, I'm going to sell this property or list it, to actually listing it. Now, if you're like me and you are targeting more distressed sellers or distressed properties or folks with challenging situations, that timeline goes down to about 90 days, but it's still 7 to 20 contacts, and sometimes even more, that you're going to have to make to be able to convert that lead and to provide service. Now, of course, there's outliers where you pick up the phone and it's the first person, or perhaps you do have a direct mail piece and that person responds and you get a great deal. However, that is an anomaly, and we're trying to create a business, not just a job. So we need to be able to create systems and tools that allow us to continue to follow up, to continue to open our mouths, continue to be able to listen so that we can provide value to folks out there in the world. So here's a couple of tips I want you to consider if you are calling as a prospect or knocking on doors as a prospect. Well, let's stick to calling for this particular show. One, make sure that you don't let the dialer ring 3 times. Now, I know we have these fancy voicemails, these ringless voicemails, which can also be challenging depending on the jurisdiction and the laws that are out there in your area. So please check that out. However, 3 calls, if they haven't picked up after there, there's really no need to leave a voice message. If you do leave a voice message, I would recommend that you don't try your unique sales proposition and sell them in that 30, 45 seconds. Go ahead and just hang up and move on. Now, there's some people out there that say, yes, I'll leave a voice message, because if they listened for 45 seconds, I've actually qualified them if they called me back. And there may be some weight to that. So again, these are all my opinions of my experience in the last 3 years, cold calling and generating leads and converting those leads. Another thing that you want to consider is, yeah, you do want to supplement your calls with a website that you can direct them to, or with some mail pieces. If you're balling on a budget, I would definitely concentrate on prospecting. But as you get capital in, make sure that you're set some aside so that you can invest. And those aren't necessarily going to have people convert, but they definitely support when they get off the phone, they look you up and they check on that social proof, or they look at that dining room table and they see, oh, this is the person that actually was speaking to me. They actually have something of value. All right. Another thing that I want you all to consider is, if you are calling, you need to grade your prospects, grade your leads. Not all leads need to be served the same. That person who's on fire definitely needs to be addressed with some water or some remedies, as opposed to that person who's hanging out, chilling, not necessarily ready to be caught on fire yet. But I would recommend at least 3 categories: hot, warm, and cold leads. And you need to have a communication cadence. I'm not going to tell you the exact one because it's an art and depends really on the relationship you have with the lead. But for hot leads, let's say we're talking about real estate, they're ready to close in the next 60 days. I would recommend you might need to call them once, maybe twice a day, depending on if you put an offer out there or what it is. But you need to have that communication down and make sure you decide on that so that you can have consistent production that leads to consistent outcomes. Warm leads, maybe it's once a week, once a month, every 2 months. Cold leads, etc. Once a quarter, as you know, it goes down to once maybe a year, or you're sending out some touches. Also, I recommend that you come with value each time you follow up. It doesn't always have to be, hey, are you ready to sell your property? Are you ready to buy this product I have? It could be, hey, I saw that Harley down the road that we were talking about, or hey, I saw that cute dog, or how are the grandkids, or hey, here's a free market report. I would love to give it to you. Make sure you do utilize your email list, collect emails, and that's another way to give consistent communication so that you stay front of mind. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, all these other places work every day to tell you or to show you how awesome Coke and Pepsi are. I don't endorse Coca-Cola, Pepsi. I don't even really drink soda, but just know that people out there are advertising daily. And it's the same thing when we're making calls and having quality conversations. We are in the relationship business. And if we're not building relationships through these conversations, then quite often we're not converting and we're not able to give the service that we know we can provide. So I've been working and doing this for the last 3 years. I've had a great time learning so much, working on my skills. And that's the last thing that I would share with you. Make sure that you take your communication skills seriously. There's awesome training. There's awesome materials out there. We live in the information world. Let's take advantage of it. If you're looking for resources on how to talk to people or how to talk to sellers specifically, if you're the real estate professional, highly suggest you go to doreideals.com. Click on learn to wholesale and you'll put your email in and I'll shoot you over my sales system and script that I've created. Well, I can't say I created it. I've borrowed, picked and chewed and studied from everyone out there and made my own. It gives you common objections you may go through. It gives you responses to those objections, and it gives you the why behind each of those pieces so that you can make it your own. I also highly recommend that you go and join the Facebook community, Life and Transitions Experts. This is a group of great professionals across different fields that help you when you're going through those big life changes, such as estate attorneys or real estate professionals or financial advisors, counselors, folks who are dedicated to helping you when you're going through those big transitions. Check it out at Facebook, Life and Transitions Experts. We are on every Wednesday at 7 p.m. I interview another professional that is committed to letting their light shine. All right. And finally, again, I am the Durham County certified probate expert. So if you or your family or someone you know is experiencing and going through the probate process or want to learn how to avoid probate, go to estateproservice.com. We'd love to help you. Asking me to unlock my device over there, but hey, this is raw. This is me. You're going to get an authentic person who is able to at least listen and see how we can be a service provider for you and connect you to the right places. So Courtney Rollins, Durham County, North Carolina, certified probate expert. Thanks for chatting, and we'll talk later. Peace.